3, 2, 1, start. You do not let him decide what he shall eat and what he shall drink, and how he shall be clothed. Be consistent and deal with his mind in like manner. Train him in the way that is scriptural and right, and not in the way that he fancies. If you cannot make up your mind to this first principle of Christian training, it is useless for you to read any further. Self-will is almost the first thing that appears in a child's mind, and it must be your first step to resist it. Train up your child with all tenderness, affection, and patience. I do not mean that you are to spoil him, but I do mean that you should let him see that you love him. Love should be the silver thread that runs through all your conduct. Kindness, gentleness, long suffering, forbearance, patience, sympathy, a willingness to enter into childish troubles, a readiness to take part in childish joys. These are the cords by which a child may be led most easily. These are the clues you must follow if you would find the way to his heart. Few are to be found, even among grown-up people, who are not more easy to draw than to drive. There is that in all our minds which rises in arms against compulsion. We set up our backs and stiffen our necks at the very idea of a forced obedience. We are like young horses in the hand of a breaker. Handle them kindly and make much of them, and by you may guide them with thread, use them roughly and violently, and it will be many a month before you get the mastery of them at all. Now, children's minds are cast in much the same mold as our own. Sternness and severity of manner chill them and throw them back. It shuts up their hearts, and you will weary yourself to find the door, but let them only see that you have an affectionate feeling towards them, that you are really desirous to make them happy and do them good, that if you punish them, it is intended for their profit, and that, like the pelican, you would give your heart's blood to nourish their souls. Let them see this, I say, and they will soon be all your own. But they must be wooed with kindness if their attention is ever to be won, and surely reason itself might teach us this lesson. Children are weak and tender creatures, and as such, they need patient and considerate treatment. We must handle them delicately, like frail machines, lest by rough fingering we do more harm than good. They are like young plants and need gentle watering, often but little at a time. We must not expect all things at once. We must remember what children are and teach them as they are able to bear. Their minds are like a lump of metal, not to be forged and made useful at once, but only by a succession of little blows. Their understandings are like narrow necked vessels. We must pour in the wine of knowledge gradually, or much of it will be spilled and lost. Line upon line and precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little must be our rule. The whetstone does its work slowly, but frequent rubbing will bring the scythe to a fine edge. Truly, there is need of patience in training a child, but without it, nothing can be done. Nothing will compensate for the absence of this tenderness and love. A minister may speak the truth as it is in Jesus, clearly, forcibly, unanswerably. But if he does not speak it in love, few souls will be won. Just so you must set before your children their duty. Command, threaten, punish, reason, but it affection be wanting in your treatment, your labor will be all in vain. Love is one grand secret of successful training. Anger and harshness may frighten, but they will not persuade the child that you are right. And if he sees you often out of temper, you will soon cease to have his respect. A father who speaks to his son as Saul did to Jonathan. Try hard to keep up a hold on your child's affections. It is a dangerous thing to make your children afraid of you. Anything is almost better than reserve and constraint between your child and yourself. And this will come in with fear. Fear puts an end to openness of manner. Fear leads to concealment. Fear sows the seed of much hypocrisy and leads to many a lie. There is a mine of truth in the apostles' words to the Colossians. Finished.